Coming up on today's wrestling news, John Cena comments on the Vince McMahon allegations.
An ex-WWE writer moves over to AEW.
Randy Orton reveals his reaction to CM Punk's return.
And an ex-WWE favourite is open to a return.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Phil Chambers.
And this is the news. So let's start by talking about something that everyone was talking about on social media last night.
Yeah. After
John Cena made an appearance on the Howard Stern show and was of course asked about the horrific Vince McMahon allegations. We are going to put a link to RAIN, the fantastic charity, I believe, survivors that we've done throughout this awful ordeal. But yeah, he was asked about the Vince McMahon allegations, and I think it's fair to say he didn't handle it very well.
No.
He said, regarding Vince McMahon, I've openly said, I love the guy. I have a great relationship with the guy, and that's that. It's largely my construct of operating with honesty and communication. The whole thing is super unfortunate and it sucks. It deals with an individual I love and an entity I love. I can say this, I'm a big advocate of love and friendship and honesty and communication. In the same breath, I'm also a big advocate of accountability. If someone's behavior lies so far outside of your value system that the balance shifts of I can't operate in a world where this works, that's the end result of being accountable. Understandably, a fair bit of backlash on social media off the back of this. A lot of wrestlers have been in this situation recently, Phil, where they had a very close personal relationship with Vince McMahon. Having said that, what's come out and what is alleged regarding him is indefensible.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a way of saying that, yes, I had a really great relationship with the guy when they were there and doing their thing within WWE. And yes, a lot of them owe quite a lot to Vince McMahon about just giving them the opportunity to sort of be able to be on the platform that they were. But there's also a way of saying that by utterly condemning the allegations against him and understanding that there's some absolutely horrible, graphic stuff that has been accused, both in this lawsuit and in the federal investigation that's up against him now as well, and historical allegations going back decades.
Yeah, this isn't suddenly coming out of the blue, for example.
Yeah, and there's a way of addressing that, but saying, yes, I had this relationship, but condemning those actions at the same time, and this is neither of those things. And I think a lot of these reactions from wrestlers are showing, they're showing that they've all got really strange daddy issues with Vince McMahon, but it's also just shining a light on what that sort of atmosphere must have been backstage. They all hold him to such high regard, which is a huge part of the reason of why he got away with this for so long.
Yeah. It's a shame as well because John Cena is such a role model.
Yeah.
And it feels like if he was the one to make the first stand of look, I had a great relationship with the guy, but if any of the stuff that's come out about him is true, then obviously he should be sort of erased from history, basically.
Yeah.
To turn around and say, I love the guy, not a great opening, is it?
I think it's surprise. The best reaction, or the best statement that anyone has said about this from an ex-wrestler standpoint was Bret Hart, where he openly said that, yes, I had this father relationship with him. Obviously it went wrong a long time ago with him, so it's a little bit different, but he had that and that was there. But then he went on to say that everything about these allegations is absolutely disgusting, and that huge changes need to be made, and he hopes justice comes down and is enforced in the end of this. Kevin Nash has been out, John Cena's not the only one, we should point out. Kevin Nash spoke on his podcast, incredibly misinformed and just baffling comments that he said. I mean, Mick Foley's said that he's also got this father figure thing, and again, wasn't exactly condemning anything that's coming out. It's a bit strange, all of these reactions, and I understand they've all got very, very close personal relationships with the man, but you have to look at things in a wider picture and realise the allegations that are against him and how serious they are, and put that into context with your own personal relationships.
And just to remind you, as I said, if you want to support a charity that does some fantastic work with people who've suffered with this sort of thing, RAIN, we've supported them from the moment this broke. We had all the donations from our Royal Rumble stream went to them. The donation link will be in the comments section.
Yeah, we'll be keeping that running through all of the Vince McMahon news. It's at about $2,500 at the minute, which is absolutely amazing, so thank you very much. But they do amazing work. They run the sexual abuse support hotline, and they have loads of resources for people who have been a victim of this. So if you have been a victim or know someone who has been a victim of sexual abuse in the past, there is help out there, and RAIN is one of the few places that you can go. There's a lot more but we'll put some information in the description, and the rain link will be at the bottom of this video. But moving over.
Yeah.
Back into the wrestling world, as norm. AEW has just hired an interesting sort of backstage, behind the scenes hire. An ex-writer from WWE. So this is Jen Peppermint. She was a former senior writer and producer for WWE, and she was there for almost 7 years. So she's been a big thing behind the scenes in WWE for quite a while now. And she is going to be AEW's Vice President of Content Development, working alongside Tony Khan on all of their TV shows. Now, her main focus within WWE was reportedly on the SmackDown Women's Division, and through that, through her role at WWE, she has apparently developed a very close relationship with obviously Sasha Banks back then, but now known as Mercedes Moné, who will be going to AEW. Obviously, well, still rumored, I guess, but she's going to AEW.
She's going to be there in 3 weeks, basically.
3 weeks at the big business Dynamite in the TD Garden in Boston. Now, the reports are saying that it was Jen Peppermint's. It was her decision to move. She wasn't like she wasn't fired or anything like that. She just wanted a career change, and the sort of rumors is that like her Sasha Banks relationship is quite a big part of that. But she'll be joining a creative team in AEW that consists of an interesting array of people. So it's sort of a creative producing team, all with different roles, of Sanjay Dutt, Will Washington, Pat Buck, Jerry Lynn, Christopher Daniels, Dean Malenko, Jimmy Jacobs, and QT Marshall. Now, obviously, all of their roles are slightly different. It's not just like one big, they don't really have a writing team per se. They're all more sort of producers, directors, things backstage. But she'll be joining forces with them. So it'd be interesting to see what, well, having a women's perspective in there for one will do, but what an impact this will have on not only the women's division within AEW, but as in AEW as a whole. Yeah,
exactly. Not really a lot I can comment on this because I'm not back there with her when she's doing the writing in WWE or AEW. But promising, like you say, for Mercedes Moné, and hopefully, promising for the women's division. We got 2 women's matches on AEW Dynamite last night. They were just shoved back to back, but
first,
baby steps, and exciting time for her. She got the whole All Elite graphic Tony Khan posted on social media, and like you say, good to have that sort of perspective in the writing room, and hopefully I hope this is the year for the AEW Women's Division. It does seem to be making strides.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Let's move over and talk about Randy Orton. His return slightly overshadowed by the return of CM Punk, you may remember, at Survivor Series. And he was talking with Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated about this. He was talking initially about finding out about it. So he said, the day of Survivor Series, I'm about to get my boots on, feeling the nerves. It's been a year and a half. Triple H is like, hey, Randy, talk to you for a second. I'm like, yeah, what's up, man? So he told me a couple of things. And then he went, one more thing, Punk's returning tonight. I thought he was effing with me, Randy said. You're joking. And he said, Triple H was like, no, I'm not. This is something that's just happened in the last few days, yada, yada, yada. So he was completely taken aback by all this. And to be fair, he's a megastar, Randy Orton, multiple-time world champion, all that sort of thing. He would have been within his rights, I think it's fair to say, to have his nose slightly put out of joint returning after a year and a half, to be completely overshadowed by CM Punk. And it was difficult because they sort of spoiled Randy Orton's return by Cody basically saying, Randy Orton, in the weeks building up to it. But that was also to counteract the fact people were like, it's going to be Punk. And WWE were like, it's really not. And I said, not there, but he is going to be showing up, and I'm the only journalist who actually said it. But yeah, so he talked a little bit about that because he said basically WWE, for the most part, whenever he has returned previously, have kind of revealed it. So it's going to be a big surprise return. I could have been really pissed, he said. The old Randy would have been pissed. It was a defining moment for me. I went out there, we had a great War Games match. Everybody was excited that I returned, and everybody was excited that Punk returned. Neither return stepped on each other. It was a testament to how much I'd grown. It would have been an issue only if I made it one, so I was proud of the way I handled it. I got to agree with him on this one. He could have really kicked off and been like, I'm just another sort of cog in the machine, am I really? But it wasn't diminished. The Randy Orton, it served a purpose. It wasn't like you went, Randy Orton's back. But anyway, enough of all that. Here's CM Punk. You had Randy Orton returning and putting on his big arms, putting on a fantastic performance in War Games, effectively winning the match for his team. He let Cody get the pinfall, but he murdered JD McDonough prior to that. And then, the Punk thing was separate. And I just remember it as being an absolutely sensational night. And I'm glad that, Randy's got to that stage in his career where he can be like, I'm not going to make an issue of this.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting read, the Sports Illustrated thing. He goes into it quite a bit, and he talks about an upcoming A&E documentary.
Yes!
Where he kind of teases that like you're going to see like a deeper side of Randy Orton, that he's like a side that he's never actually spoke about or said before, talking about his early days of like, well, he calls himself a prick, like he calls, like calls himself a stupid punk and things. Saying now
he really has matured
over
quite
the
a lot,
top reacted to a lot of these things. So it is definitely a lot of personal growth there.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see this A&E documentary to see just what he ends up revealing in that. He's definitely promised some kind of big reveal.
Well, hopefully we get some more
his military dismissal.
Yes. I think we'll get some more Randy Orton moves. Remember on that like heels thing?
Yeah.
Where he showed him. I was like, I don't like this.
He also mentioned the Vince McMahon allegations, but handled it much better than John Cena, I will say.
Not difficult. Not difficult. Randy Orton owes a lot to Vince McMahon as well, but he can.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Separate the two. Anywho, moving over. An ex-NXT favourite.
I love this guy.
I also love this guy.
Apart from what he did to Chris Van Vliet's chest all those years ago.
This is true. You might remember him from such teams as Breezango and the Fashion Police and just being an overall great guy on NXT. Me. Tyler Breeze.
Oh.
He is teasing sort of comeback, or he's putting feelers out there. I guess. Well, let's say. He was on the podcast and YouTube channel Developmentally Speaking, doing an interview with them, talking about how he still has a very solid relationship with Triple H. He's not he kept his bridges built very well. He's done some stuff kind of behind the scenes with them. He was a guest trainer at the Performance Center, and obviously he's done a lot with Up, Down, except for his YouTube channel and things. So apparently he still has a great relationship with Triple H and WWE, and that he is very open to a return at some point should Triple H want that. Now it's kind of an interesting one because he was definitely a Triple H guy from in the original NXT days. Obviously had a great run in NXT, and his main roster run was sort of under the radar pretty great. Just it was just really entertaining. Like the stuff he did with Breezango and the Fashion Police stuff was so good, but he never really got that sort of same singles run as he did in NXT.
Then he went back down to NXT for a bit, didn't he? Or he left and then came back.
Yeah. So it'd be a very interesting one to see if Triple H wants someone back in the mix that's just got that little sort of bit of entertainment factor, let's say.
I mean, I think if you dropped him in NXT right now, not that I'm saying that's where he should go, he would thrive. But I love him, and I think, he's one of those people that WWE's always going to keep around. I think he's incredibly useful for a variety of different reasons.
He's still only 36 as well.
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
Like he made a joke in the interview saying he's not some ancient dude who'd struggle to keep pace with today's roster.
He's got a lot of time left. Yeah, I'd like to see him back personally. And he's one of the people I hope we used to try and catch up with over WrestleMania. I'd love to chat to Tyler Breeze. If you're watching, Tyler, here's an open invitation.
Hit us up.
I distinctly remember one of the first ever WWE shows I went to was a SmackDown taping just before I went on holiday with my missus. And I went to the loo and I heard Breezango's music playing, and I almost ran over a child running back to my seat because I was like, I need to see the Fashion Police make their entrance.
Excellent.
They were bloody brilliant. I think that was the one, maybe. Was it the one when they were dressed as janitors? I can't. They all merge into one, basically.
It was also good. The Fashion Files.
Oh, brilliant.
Good stuff.
But speaking of which, Tyler Breeze, Up, Down, Down, Xavier Woods, New Day Big E. I am interviewing Big E later on today. I'm so excited. I've described him, and I think we all agree here at WhatCulture, as the nicest man in wrestling.
Lovely man.
I've pitched for questions on my social media, at Adam Wilborn. I've linked through at WhatCulture WWE on X. Send them to me now if you're watching this. I'll try and grab them before I go on, or just stick them in the comments section.
Shout out to his new animation as well,
yes.
Our Heroes Rock.
There it is.
There it is.
Go and check out the trailer. We've nicked it.
Yeah, we have nicked the trailer and we'll put it out on the channel, so it's on our video feed now and on our shorts feed if you want to watch it on that as well. So go check out the trailer to it, and the full video is over on the Our Heroes Rock YouTube channel as well, which I'll put a link to in the I thing up here. So get that watched in the anticipation of the interview that we'll be filming today, and we'll most likely, it'll go out tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll stick it out tomorrow. Hopefully he's having quite a nice long chat with E about a variety of different things, including our heroes, Rock. But yeah, send me your questions at Adam Wilborn or in the comments section.
Better ask him about the press conference. And
I will be. I will be. Don't you worry about that one. But speaking of questions, Phil, Twitter questions now at WhatCulture WWE on X. If you want to get in touch with us, of course. First question today comes from Rob. Rob says, "Hello, Dream Team." Hi, Rob. I don't personally see it happening, but is there any chance that Seth screws Cody to extend Roman's reign? No pun intended. Hope you enjoyed your time off. Andy, so sorry for your loss. My thoughts with you. Thank you so much. We've passed on all your lovely messages to Andy, by the way. Yeah, Cody getting screwed at Mania? Please, God, no.
I mean, there's always a chance. We didn't think it happened last year, and it did. They can't do it. Not after the We Want Cody stuff and the Rock coming back and the change of plans. If they went through all of that to get to this, and then still done a screwy finish where Cody doesn't win and finishes.
Yeah, if they wanted Roman to retain, just do the Rock match.
Yeah, they wouldn't have changed the match to be
the Hogan record's not a record, by the way. Look at the history books.
Yeah, it's not a thing. It's like third or something. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've always said from WrestleMania 39, let it play out, and I'm gonna, oh my God, I'm gonna rub it in the Dudley Boys' faces so much when Cody eventually wins. And if not, I'm probably just gonna go into hiding, or just stop watching wrestling altogether. You have to do it. You've not built to this. The Seth Cody stuff's always going to be there. You've got Cody Roman as a rematch. You've got Cody Rock. You've got Cody versus. Actually, there's something I'm going to get into a later question, so I'm going to save that for a little bit later on. But yeah, I know there's the classic image of Seth running up behind Cody with like a sledgehammer. I was like, ha!
Gotcha.
Not at 40, please.
Just have a happy ending.
Yes.
We can have happy endings.
The great Puta says, what do you think about Chad Gable versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania? Logan's entourage mixing up with Alpha Academy. Perfect spectacle match with some amazing wrestling. That could be a load of fun. The Low Gang or whatever they're called, mixing it up with the Alpha Academy.
Yeah, that would be.
If they're not doing the Gunther match.
Fun. If they're not doing Gunther, then I think this is a perfect alternative. I think just seeing Gable suplex Logan Paul around the ring and just like stretch him in ways he's never been stretched would be incredibly funny to me. And like the athleticism of Logan Paul, it is ludicrous how easily he's taken to wrestling.
People are annoyed about his 2K rating, and I'm like, I have no issue with this.
No, yeah, it's absolutely insane. And as a pairing, I think that's kind of it's an interesting one that he's not had as well before. He's had like the spectacle matches, like the Ricochet was something like a little bit different. The sort of that's more high flying athleticism. But in terms of like the sort of grounded, like pure wrestling ability of Chad Gable, I think that'd be a fascinating mix.
Could be like patting him on the head. All right, little guy. I don't think they're going to do it though. I think, as I also called, they are going to do. Everyone called it Chad Gable versus Gunther at WrestleMania. Chad's been working Gunther a lot in the house shows, and it just feels wide open the way that they've been doing it. You know, Gunther retaining against Jay recently, and Chad finally sort of overcoming the big lads and being like, right, let's get serious. We're on the road to WrestleMania. That's the direction I would go in.
Me too.
Finally, Toby says, welcome back, Daddy Wilborn. Thank you, Toby. With everything going on full steam ahead into Mania, my question to you and Michael Hamlet / Sidgwick, Phil Chambers, is what happens after? Can it be this good for long? Well, it's been this good for about a year. With a blip in the middle.
A little blip there somewhere. It's an interesting one because everything has been.
It is like a season finale, WrestleMania.
Yeah, it really is.
Gunther loses the title, Roman loses the title. You know.
Yeah, it's reset time and see what you can do after that. But everything's been so loaded on the bloodline that like having that sort of diminish, although it's not even diminishing, you'll just turn into Roman versus The Rock. It'll be a whole nother saga of the bloodline.
That'll disappear for a bit, so you've got big space at the top of the card.
Yeah, I think there's so much talent there at the minute, and everybody is like just firing on all cylinders in terms of the talent going. Like Drew McIntyre is like doing the best stuff he's done probably in his life. Like he's like
Sammy is the world champion if my fantasy booking goes right after WrestleMania.
Everything is there for this to continue for a long time.
Yeah, I think in terms of like Cody, people are like, well, what happens after he finishes the story? I think it's really relatively quite easy.
Loses on the Raw after WrestleMania.
Damien Priest cashes in.
Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be one of those ones where the wave of momentum is going to kind of carry Cody initially for those first few weeks, and he's going to have one of those feuds where it's his first title defense, he ain't dropping it. So you've got to pick someone that's going to have a good match with him, but also I don't think anyone's going to buy much of a near falls in that. You're not going to get all that. Having said that, your first pay-per-view after WrestleMania is Backlash in France.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be awesome. That's going to have Backlash in Puerto Rico vibes, in my opinion. And then you're not that far from Bash in Berlin. I'd put all my eggs in one basket. I'd do Gunther and Cody. I think that's the biggest match they can do after Roman Cody.
Gunther Cody at Bash in Berlin makes a lot of sense.
And maybe even switch the title there.
I'd switch the title there. I don't think Cody needs a long run.
No.
You've had Roman, and it's been like a huge long one. You don't need to go straight into another one of those. And the sort of babyface nature of being a champion isn't necessarily the idea of being the champion. It's the idea of like having something to chase and going after. And there's especially with a character like Cody, he always needs something to be chasing for, something to be aiming for. And I think, he doesn't need to hold it a long time.
Braun Breaker's coming up. That's going to be awesome. You've got more talent coming through from NXT. Tiffany Stratton's only just got here. Jade Cargill will have just started having regular matches, I would assume. And, CM Punk's going to be coming back in a few months as well. Don't forget that, guys.
It's all good. It's all going to come to you.
It's going to be amazing. Fingers crossed anyway. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to send me questions for Big E, as I said, at Adam Wilborn or at WhatCulture WWE on X. While you're at it, why not check out this video as well? We'll see you soon.
Bye.